Yes, why? Oh, wait. It's weekend, is it? That sort of thing?
No, I don't know.
It's later on.
It's a later night club.
So, if the bar is not open, that means
You have to go down to the other one.
Well, that's all the way down there. And I'd have to get up.
Too long way.
A lot of effort.
But there's seats there.
What?
There's seats there.
There's seats where I am.
That's not a seat. That's
Something
a stool.
I've noticed is this particular lot here does not pick up on hints
What
very
would you
well.
like us to buy you to
I
drink?
love you. That beautiful California white Zinfandel that they have.
Zinfandel.
Yes, please.
A whole bottle?
Oh, good. Just a glass.
I bought him the whole bottle yesterday.
You bought me the whole bottle yesterday, and look what it did to me.
But you should be used to that. You should be immune to that.
I should be immune to that, but I'm not. Well, it's California wine, that's the problem.
It's an anti-alcohol. On the bottle, it said that it is the perfect introduction to Californian wine.
It is the perfect introduction to Californian wines. You'll never touch another one. Once you
That kind of introduction.
Well, the only place I've ever had wine that was worse than wine from California was... anyone here from Mid-Fur? Nobody here from Down Under?
No.
Oh God, Australian
Wait,
wines.
Zup is here.
Yeah, but he's not here. When I say here, I mean immediate here. American geography, within what I can see.
We're not in America anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore.
But I noticed that when I was out there. Everyone's on the wrong side of the road and your flags are strange. Australian wine is some of the only wine in the world that I can't drink. It's my bodyguard. Everybody comes at me, tries to take my wine and bite it.
That is rather surprising that there is wine Uncle Kage can't drink.
The Australian wine was absolutely lovely. Some of the best I've had on the face of the... Hello, Paul, my dear friend. How are you? That wine you gave me at Mid-Fur,
saying this because I'm Australian.
that was absolutely gorgeous, magnificent stuff. I wanted to thank you once again. So, so
it was drinkable after all.
hey, of course it was. Where did you get the idea it wasn't? It was
After 5
fantastic
days in the
stuff.
desert.
You know, I adored the taste. Oh, sorry, something broke. Yeah, there. I adored the taste of it. It was smooth going down, smooth coming up.
But you loved every minute.
The ones he
Yes,
could remember. The
I
ones he
did,
could
right.
remember.
I will see you later for the proper story hour.
I'll be there. Yes, thank you.
We'll be filming.
So, who here was at Mid-Fur last year? So none of you were at Mid-Fur last year. You didn't get to experience the charm and grandeur of the Britannia Country House Hotel.
Would we really want to?
It was charming. It was grandeur-esque. It was falling down, but
Did you actually just say Mid-Fur?
You did say
sorry.
We
I
were
meant
ConFuzzled.
You got the same accent to me. What can I say? No, but Mid-Fur was actually lovely. Although I have to say, Melbourne is a grand city, but they do a particular thing down there that I don't think anybody else in the civilized world does. It's called a hook turn. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
They were driving me from the airport and they did one of these things. You see, if you want to turn, let's see if I get this right, if you want to turn to the right,
Yeah.
you take your car all the way clearly over to the left side of the road and up onto the sidewalk, nudge the pedestrians out of the way, and look over your shoulder and wait for the maximum amount of traffic to be coming. Thank you so much. Then you hit the gas, screech rubber on the road, and cut across the traffic. And this apparently is not only legal, but it's encouraged. I can only imagine that this went back to the early days when Australia was still a penal colony and they wanted to keep the population down. Wine cam. Yes. There we are. Gross. Where was it? Australia, right? No, the Britannia. I missed that place. It had a certain air to it. Sort of air, you know, kind of moldy air. You know, every time I walked in, I felt like, you know, a British adventurer opening the tomb of a long-lost pharaoh. It had that same, you know, sort of
It had that
old
same lack
smell.
of air.
Yes, that's it. Lack of air and mold spores and hideous things floating in. I liked the fact that they allowed you to keep pieces of the ceiling as a souvenir. I had 7 of them in my suitcase. My particular room. One or two of you might have seen it. Did you see it? Oh yeah, I remember that. My particular room at the Britannia. Of course, remember, you had to make a right, then a left, then a left, then a right. Then you made 4 lefts and wound up going right. It was like a hook turn.
Go through a couple of small doors.
Precisely. I kept going through small doors, and I found the door that had the number on it, and I opened it. I said, "Oh no, this is a lift." And I walked away, and I said, "Wait a minute, why would there be a bed in a lift?" and I opened the door, and if you can imagine, a door that a gentleman could take a single casual step inside and be at the edge of the bed. The door could not fully open because it hit the bed. The bed stretched from one wall to the next. At the foot of the bed, there was the loo. The bed covered half the door going into the loo. The loo was about the size of 2 shoes put together. And I know that because standing in there, all 4 walls touched me. Nice. If you had a straw, I might share it with you.
How's it now?
I went last time.
Okay. We all speak Fursuit here, right? Do that again, what you just did. That gesture. No, one before that. Yeah, that is Fursuit speak for now, bitch.
That's what it seemed.
I discovered that, or actually I shouldn't say I discovered that, I was told of that as I was first learning Fursuit sign language by one of AnthroCon's security, the Dorsai Irregulars. They were, for some time, giving out ear tags. It was supposed to be a joke the first year that they would clip these numbered ear tags to Fursuit's ears.
The Fursuit migration study.
Precisely. And it was a gag. They made about 100 of them, and they said, we're going to study the migration of these creatures. Well, these became wildly popular with the Fursuiters. And the Fursuiters started stalking the security people to try to get ear tags.
Yeah. And
So they made more. Oh my goodness. Standing head and shoulders, I see Colonel Dreer in the back there. Hello, my good man.
My pleasure. Hello there.
I just saw this wolfish head with horns going by. That's got to be Colonel Dreer.
And then there would be even like the tax sale for sale on Fursuit, like $50.
Well, they made many more of these, and they still didn't have enough. So they said that the Fursuiters kind of had to stand out. They had to do something to impress security, and you would get your little ear tag then. Well, at one point, the security chief's daughter, Samantha, was walking through the halls, and 4 Fursuiters came up and surrounded her and were making little pleady gestures and everything. And she said, "Well, I don't have any to give out." So they took her hostage. And they went to security, and Renegade, her father, came out, and they were surrounding her, and the Fursuiter did this. And Renegade said, I would like to give you one, but you have to do something a little more than take my daughter hostage. And the Fursuiter got in front of him and did this. And then kind of looked back at the hostage, and Renegade said, "I'm sorry, no." So that's when the Fursuiter taught Renegade, which means ear tag now, bitch. Bargain's a bargain. Just try not to drool on my coat. You are of age. How can we check that?
Has to be.
You can't be here unless you're 18.
Oh, and that's going to stop them, is it?
Rings.
It's been photoshopped.
It's good shit, ain't it? I try very hard not to keep the thought in my mind that what I'm drinking is rotted fruit.
Did any red fur fall into it?
How would could you tell?
You wouldn't see it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I did ask for white Zinfandel.
This is white
That
Zinfandel.
is.
It's California, my lord.
I clearly don't do so good with
Yeah, white Zinfandel is a rotating one.
White Zinfandel is actually pink.
Yeah.
That's because, well, it's called white because the Zinfandel grape is red. But they actually peel the skin off. White wine is made from peeled grapes. That's why it's white. The grape color comes from the skin. You've learned something today, haven't you?
White wine also double fermented.
It can be. It can be, depending on what type of wine it is. There's some wines that you barely need to ferment at all.
They come off the tree like that.
They're my favorites.
Comes to wine. Ferment.
Now, the one thing you don't have here, and I wish you did, was sake. Japanese sake is one of the most yeah.
You haven't tried the right stuff.
Sorry, where are you from? Right, Brit. There you go. Sake is, it is like, how can I describe it? You know, it's like angels are having sex in your mouth. That's really the only way I can describe it. What the Japanese do is they take the rice, you see, and what they'll do is they will put it into a giant rock tumbler and they'll mill it down, and they grind away the outside portion of the rice hull, and then they will put it into a fermentation vat. The first thing they have to do is they have to treat it with a particular kind of mold called Kage, which converts the starch to sugar. Then they do the fermentation on that, and there's this huge long process and a lot of ritual involved, and then they sell it to me and I get happy. That's pretty much how it works.
And a few other people buy it as well.
The last step, of course, has most importance in this case. You can buy it and you get happy.
I should be saving this all for the stage. I don't know what I'm doing up here.
You're drinking the wine, Evo.
I'm drinking the wine you bought, right?
That is also
Thank
kind of a
you.
stage here.
Yeah, mini stage.
I should have made him try this. You see, this gentleman I trust. There's a story, and of course, there are detractors out there who say the story is not true, but take it from one who knows the facts. My friend and colleague to the Ranting Griffin was at RBW a number of years ago, and he was standing about the pub, and from the darkness, someone just pressed a glass into his hand. So, naturally, he consumed what was in the glass, never saw who it was, gave it to him. He immediately fell unconscious. He actually staggered about for